Welcome back to another episode of The Follow-Up. I'm Eden, this is my dad Noah, and every week we sit on my bed and have a conversation about something we want to talk about. So this week, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and their win in the Super Bowl. So we're big Eagles fans. Well, you grew up in Philly, and
So did Mom.
so did Mom. Well, yeah. And I've just become a Eagles fan because, yeah. So it was awesome. It was a great game, and we'll get into the whole thing. So going into the game, what were you thinking? What was your mindset?
I thought it was going to be an easy one.
You did?
Yep. And the score I predicted was 34-23 when we did the prediction.
Mine was 32-27.
Yeah, and so the final score ended up being 40-22, but the final score, it was not that close. I mean, the score could have been 40-0, 40-7. And I didn't expect it to be a blowout like that. I just didn't expect the Eagles to have a problem. The only problem was the Chiefs' mystique and magic, and that they always pull out these wins. But the Eagles were better they were better at every position. So I had full confidence that they were going to win the Super Bowl. I did not expect it to go the way it did. And I think the most remarkable thing was 24 points in the first half, 23 yards in the first half for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't think we will ever see that again in a Super Bowl where one team has more points than the other team has yards in a half. I don't think we'll ever see it again.
Yeah.
It was very, very bizarre, Eden, to watch a Super Bowl and it be over that quickly. Like when it was 17-0, over. Game over. Done. I had no doubts.
Yeah.
And to have a stress-free Super Bowl like that is bizarre for any fan base, especially for the Philadelphia Eagles.
You got very hyped up during the game, which
for
I
sure.
loved.
I'm not hyped up now.
No, you were. You
Like
are.
right now?
Sorry, you are.
I'm actually not. We're recording. We thought about recording this Sunday night after the Super Bowl. It was too late. Monday, you didn't feel great, even though the Eagles had won. It wasn't enough to help things out. Last night, what did we have? We had something else last night. So we're recording this on Wednesday. So I still look for people on the street to say "Go Birds" to, and I want to sign all my emails "Go Birds," which I have to some.
You have?
To some people, yeah. So
That's so funny.
It is a terrific feeling to be a fan of the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, especially because they didn't win really any Super Bowls when you were a kid.
No, right? No. Not like any. They
any.
didn't.
Yeah.
No,
and
they didn't win any.
they haven't. They've really been getting a ton better. They had one of the best seasons.
Yeah, so
they've ever had.
We
really.
talked about this last week that you've now experienced 3 Super Bowls, 1 loss in your lifetime. You don't remember the first one really when they won in the 17 season, and
No, I was like.
right.
Yeah.
I have a picture of you crying. I think it's just because you were tired. They weren't tears of joy. And when I was a kid, we talked about Jerome Brown dying before the Eagles could even win a playoff game. Just like one playoff game, and then all those other disappointments in the NFC Championship game for those 3 years in a row, and then losing the Super Bowl in 2004. So
Yeah.
it's a strange place to be in, to be a fan of the best team in football, especially beginning of the season in that Saints game when I thought Nick Sirianni should have been fired. I thought he was trying to get fired, and then here we go. So what was it like for you? You are not a huge football fan.
No, more basketball.
But you certainly root for the Eagles. What was it like watching your team? I know we live in New York, but your city of Philadelphia, because of our ties, win a Super Bowl.
It was pretty cool because the Sixers have just never won finals.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
in my life.
Yeah.
They definitely won finals.
or really in my life. I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't. They won in '83, but I was.
You were 1 year old.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it was pretty just cool to see my team win. It's like, my team. I have the pride. I'm the fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one who can brag to everyone, like, my team won.
Mm-hmm.
not all the Chiefs fans are like, oh, we all beat the Eagles. It's like, oh no, we beat the Eagles. We beat
won
the
the Super
Chiefs.
Bowl, right?
Yeah, we won the Super Bowl.
Was there any chatter at school about it?
Yeah, still chatter.
Tell me about it.
It was just like, oh my God, the Eagles won.
Dude, well, okay.
Yeah,
So,
and
okay,
it was
but
just like
do
the
people
Eagles
know
won.
that you're an Eagles fan?
Yeah,
So how do they know you're an Eagles fan?
because we talk about it.
Oh,
It's cool.
okay.
Yeah,
And this is girls and boys all talking about
girls.
it? Just the girls talking about it.
Yeah.
So now, the girls that you're friends with at school, were they rooting for the Eagles?
yeah, they were rooting for the Eagles.
Really? Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just think because they didn't want to root for the Chiefs, so they root for the Eagles.
Why didn't they want to root for the Chiefs? Because a lot of girls your age root for the Chiefs because
Taylor Swift.
And
I
Travis
think
Kelce.
they were more New York fans. Philly is closer. If you think about it, Philly is closer.
Well,
to
yeah,
New
but
York.
New York fans hate Philly fans.
Exactly. I don't know. I think because like some other girls were rooting for the Eagles and no one was really rooting for the Chiefs.
I mean, maybe they're supporting you.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. And they just have a bigger fan base, Eagles. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that was it.
Or maybe were some people? What else was the chatter? Were some people surprised, or was it just, oh my God, Eagles won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was it.
Yeah, that was all the chatter.
Okay. A heck of a conversation.
It was
you
a
guys
big
had.
conversation.
Okay.
It was a chain.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Right. Eagles won. Yeah. So, what are your takeaways from the game? What did you make of the game itself? The way you thought it might go, and then the way it
I
played
thought
out.
the game was going to be a lot closer. I thought it was going to be really close the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought even the Eagles might be down in a minute, but
wow.
then come back and win.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I was just like, maybe like just like first quarter, the second quarter, they were
Okay.
down going to halftime even. But
Okay.
it was definitely
not
not what
that-
I expected. I was not expecting them to blow them out. I think Jalen Hurts was outstanding. Might have been the best game he had all season.
I think so.
I think so, yeah. I was really expecting a big game out of Saquon Barkley.
Sure.
Didn't really happen, but I mean, the whole team played great.
Yeah, and
The defense was great
the defense was ridiculous. Saquon, I think.
in a good way.
Yeah, Saquon. I think what the Chiefs did. I think the plan was, let's stop Saquon. We'll let the other guys try to beat us. And it's not a bad plan. It's
Yeah.
just when the rest of the team is just that good, you just can't do that. And so he didn't impact the game as much with running. He had a bunch of catches, a lot of yards. But because of who he is, it's
Yeah.
almost like in basketball they talk about the gravity that a player has. So when Steph Curry's on the court, the gravity is, no one has a larger gravity than Steph because everyone's always focused on him and they move everybody else away from the basket. So it makes it easier for everybody else. Saquon's gravity was so great because the Chiefs defense was just focused on trying to stop him. And then everybody else was able to do whatever they could do.
Yeah.
And that defense, 6 sacks, no blitzes, is
What's up, Blake?
a blitz is when, so in football, the Eagles have 4 linemen, 4 down linemen.
Yes.
So 2 defensive ends, 2
Yeah.
tackles. And a blitz is when you send more players at the quarterback than there are offensive linemen. So there are 5 offensive linemen. So if you bring another player or 2, that's a blitz. So you try to overwhelm the offensive line.
Do you want
But when you do bring a blitz,
Yeah.
then that leaves somebody else open or another area of the field open.
Oh.
So
So if you win the game without any blitzes, that's like really good.
it's amazing because you have a defensive line that is getting so much pressure on the quarterback without having to use any of your other players to get that pressure. So they can all do their job out there on defense in their positions and on their men, and you can just leave it up to the 4 defensive linemen to bring all the pressure. And if you can do that, that is always a recipe for success.
Yeah.
Always. Going into next year, being the Super Bowl, the favorite,
Yeah.
is a different feeling for an Eagles fan because we always think the worst. And even this time,
And now there's going to be higher expectations. They win a game, it's going to be
Absolutely.
like, oh my God. Ah.
I felt going into this game that I felt like we hadn't won a Super Bowl yet, even though we did. but it still felt like this was the
Yeah.
first time. But even though
It's like a new Eagles team.
it's a completely different
Well,
team.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like a new era.
I agree, and I give the Eagles.
Turn the page.
I give that front office a lot of credit for putting that team together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you have 2 Super Bowl championships in your 10 years, and a conversation that we had with our friends was, well, but your kids don't know what it's like to suffer like we did.
No, I do. I know what it's like to suffer when your favorite team in all of basketball is having the worst season.
That's exactly what I told my friends. They said, but
Yeah.
she doesn't know what it's like to suffer. I said, she's a Sixers fan. She's suffering plenty.
Yeah.
And they said, yes, okay. Get it. Because I do think it makes it even sweeter in the end when the Sixers eventually do win at some point in your life. But I don't,
I was like,
you can't be suffering
Yeah.
across all sports.
2 days ago, or yesterday, I was like,
You can stop saying like.
yesterday. Was yesterday Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah. I said, if the Sixers win against the Raptors tonight, that will make it a great 2 days in sports for you.
Yeah, 3 days in sports.
3 days. Yes. Bean pot.
Right, BU on the Beanpot. Beat #1 Boston College on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sixers lost.
And I was like,
Oh, well. I mean, stakes are certainly not as high a regular season game, but now I think the Sixers season is over.
no, I just want to see them win one more game.
Do you have any last thoughts aside from the Eagles this past weekend?
Oh, Gatorade was yellow.
Was yellow, right. I was correct.
Yeah, you're right. Hard to admit, but yeah.
Real quick, before we go, you were on skis for the first time this past weekend.
Yes.
Impressions? Thoughts?
It was fun. It was good. It was easy.
It was. I mean,
I
For-
was
for what you-
literally going right down.
right, for what you did, you felt good.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to do it again?
Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Mom can sit in the lodge and prepare the hot chocolate.
Yeah.
All right. I love you.
Love you.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.